right, hello wine-drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday, and another great once-in-a-lifetime tasting at 1800 Las Olas. Thanks to our friends Jean-Francois and Diane Roy for hosting this event with us, and, you know, who knows who would win an all-out battle with two of the top Cabernet producers from Napa. That's why we have these events, folks, and because we have the wines, and we want to drink them, and we don't drink them with you. So this is the easiest tasting we've ever done to sell Opus or Caymus, either one of them. But Opus and Caymus together, I mean, we did this tasting blind because I did not want people to have a preconceived idea of which wine they like better because they like Caymus better or they think they like Opus better. You don't know what you like better until you try it next to each other, and you do it blind so you don't know which wine is which. However, we did throw a little curveball at you this tasting. We threw in a few ringers, like Grace Family. We threw in some Sassicaia, just to make things interesting, a little Insignia. What a great event, man. Let me tell you, all of the wine showed very well. We started out with the second wine of Opus, which a lot of people, if you've never visited Opus, have never seen because it wasn't sold commercially until just recently, Overture, which Overture is a non-vintage wine. It's one of the oddest things in the wine business. You don't see $100 bottles without vintages on them. But every year they release it, it's from one vintage, but they fail to put it on the label. I don't get it. And we showed that next to the 2013 Caymus out of liter bottle. These wines could not be any more different. Totally different styles. Opus, very soft, Bordeaux-like, really fine tannins, lovely cigar box spice, very elegant, nice freshness at the end, much lighter than the Caymus, which almost seemed like dessert wine, man. This wine smells like chocolate cake with cherries on top, and really sweet cherry liqueur. This wine went great with the foie gras on top of the banana nut bread with the maple syrup. Oh, delicious. And a little bit of residual sugar, I'm sure, in this wine as well. But this wine still is a crowd pleaser, man. Let me tell you, it's hard not to like this wine. The more I drank it, I mean, it did have a kind of a manufactured taste to it, like chocolate cake and cherries. How did you get those in the Cabernet? You put chocolate extract in there? It's from the type of oak treatment they use. Rumor has it they've been buying frozen Malbec grapes from Argentina, grape concentrate from Lodi. Hey, you're allowed to put 5% wine from another country in a wine from Napa Valley. So I don't know if they do, but I did have a producer from Mendoza say they've been selling to the Wagners frozen Malbec for the last 10 years. Wow. Well, anyways, even if it is a manufactured Frankenstein-like wine, the crowd was split between the Overture and the Caymus to start. Now, these are the entry-level wines. Now we get into the tasting with Opus 1 and Caymus Special Selection, because Caymus Special Selection started out in the 70s. Opus started out in 1979, and started out just a few hundred cases. Randy Dunn was a winemaker until 84, so very, very different from the wines the Wagner family are making today under this Special Selection moniker. And these are now 10,000 case production wines. And the early days, well, let me tell you, the Wine Spectator has got a certain affinity for Caymus's wines because of the 30-some-odd vintages of Caymus Special Select made to date. They've got an average score of over 95 points. That's higher than any wine in the world. According to the Wine Spectator, this is the #1 wine on earth. Hard to live up to that reputation, but Caymus did. And at the end of the night, they reigned supreme. The 83 Opus, Caymus, and Grace Family were our first flight. We had 83s and 84s. Two lackluster vintages, but these three wines showed brilliantly. Not many people picked them out, however, but the 83 Opus, really light, elegant, fresh loamy earth, currants and plum fruit still there. Nice savoriness to the finish there. Nice balance. This wine got a vote for first and one vote for second. The 83 Caymus Special Select, also a vote for first. They had a vote for second. This wine had a good amount of dried herbs and earth on the nose, some meaty characters, light and silky on the tongue, smooth tannins, and that dried meaty character lasting through the finish, maybe a little bit past its prime. The Grace Family showing a lovely spice, a hint of green bell pepper and coffee to the red plum and currant berry fruit. Light, but still present here on the palate as well. This wine's drinking nice, definitely on the downside for my taste. It did receive 3 votes for second place, though. Excellent juice. The next flight, we show the 86s and the 90s, the 86 Opus 1, 86 Caymus Special Select, 90 Sassicaia, 90 Special Selection. The 90 Special Selection was the wine of the year in the Wine Spectator. And blind, this was overwhelmingly the favorite with the group tonight. This wine got 5 votes for first place, 6 votes for second place, and still had a lot of life left in it, man. A lot of good dark berry and currant fruit showing on the nose, dark chocolate, toasty oak spice, the biggest bouquet of all the wines on the table this evening. A nice amount of rich fruit still in the palate, currant berry, soft, silky tannins. This wine at its peak right now. If you have 90 Caymus Special Select in your cellar, I don't know why you'd want to keep it. It is so good. Open it up and drink it now. The 90 Sassicaia, very few people pick this wine out. It did have more of an earthy, savory character to it than the other wines, but, you know, pretty close. It's Cabernet Sauvignon, 85%, 15% Cabernet Franc. The 86 showing a little bit of dried meat on the 86 Special Selection, a bit of a Band-Aid character, a little Brett here showing maybe as well, but still had some fruit, maybe a little bit past its prime, but did get vote for first and second. My least favorite wine of the night. The 86 Opus was excellent, had a bit of that Band-Aid medicinal quality, also some smoky, meaty qualities, the red currant berry fruit, really nice freshness in this wine, still some tannins. Although it got no votes for first or second, I thought it was showing very nicely. All right, the 1994 flight, this was a great vintage, but then again, every vintage in the 90s were 91, 92, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98 was not considered great, but you drink these 98s today, and man, they're pretty damn good, the top ones. 99, a little bit tannic at first, but very good now after the tannins have subsided. The 94 vintage, a lot of people may say it's the best vintage in the 90s, but like I said, it's a toss-up. There were so many great ones. 94 Opus showed a little bit of a dried, meaty character, some saddle leather notes, dried tobacco, cigar box spice. The most old world in style of this flight, definitely the easiest to pick out. It got 3 votes for first and 1 vote for second. Excellent juice. The 94 Insignia was just rocking, man. This wine had a lovely dark cocoa, kind of milk chocolate note, fresh earth, red currants, plum, very smooth and silky on the tongue. This tannin's fully resolved, that lovely milk chocolatey note lasting through the finish. This wine got 3 votes for first and 1 vote for second. It was in a tie for second place with the Opus 94. The 94 Special Select also showing brilliantly. A bit of menthol and mint to the note. Dark currant, cassis berry fruit. A bit tannic still here at the end, but a real crowd pleaser, man. Lots of fruit to match. Bitter cocoa notes at the end. 2 votes for first. Most excellent juice, one of my favorite wines. The Caymus Special Selects, without a doubt, took the Opus 1 down on this evening. I know it's not fair. The bottle's bigger than this one, but they still won. So a great once-in-a-lifetime tasting. Caymus versus Opus. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.